welcome back to another reaction video. We're going to be reacting to Mr. 1-Ups ranking all the Paldean regional forms. Let's do this.
Regional forms have been one of the most interesting gimmicks Pokemon has conjured up over the past few generations. When even the Hisui region is getting a bulk shipment of them, I thought it was safe to assume that they were a mainstay, never to be buried next to the Megas. So going into Paldea, I was really preparing to make a much bigger video. Surely each generation would spawn up a solid 20 and more to see, as long as you purchase all the DLC. But nah, Paldea hosts just the two. But that's a bit misleading, because they still exist. They're just taking a better approach.
Yeah, divergent evolutions, forms, where they're different Pokemon, but they look like other Pokemon, like Toadstool right here, who if I had one I would nickname Squidward, and Wiglet are the two best examples of that.
I think unofficially for Pokemon, it'd be known as convergent evolutions, which is the way to go about with the gimmick. I actually rate this direction, having regional forms be their own entire thing and not just Grimer, but the foreign Grimer. Imagine being from Alola, how insulted you would feel. Like, alright, well, what's going on here? We need some answers. How come our muck is the foreign one? With convergent mons, it seems the key difference is that it gets a whole new name. It's its own entity, completely unrelated. Oh yeah, you should have called a Toadstool like me. Toadstool? You mean tentacle? Nah, mate. It's Toadstool. Completely different species entirely. Not even on the same biological clock, mate. Within the lore, it makes sense that Diglett and Wiglet have no correlation other than being conveniently similar, but conceptually, saying that they have no correlation at all is just simply wrong. The man is named White Diglett, so, you know what I mean by the title of this. Anything that had its origin from a previous region. This is about all 13 of Paldea's regionals, convergent Pokemon, and evolutions.
If I was ranking these, Clodsire would be an S tier because it's such a good boy and it's just so goddamn cute.
The only thing Tauros has to its name, it got that one episode where Ash catches 30 of them, so it's an understandable regional form to go for. And not only a regional, 3 of them, 75% of the exact definition regional forms, are taken up by the Tauros. I saw the combat breed Tauros during the intro video when you start up the game, and barely even processed it was a regional. Honestly thought the game was so poorly optimized they botched the textures on him. Figured someone's got to sort out your man's shading, because he's immune to the daylight system. So I don't rate any of the Tauros forms really, because they just took the lazy MMO approach. Base Tauros is a low-tier Maple Story mob, and Paldean Tauros is the one who gets a color swap and runs around a slight bit faster just to convey to you, the player, hey, watch it, playboy, this one's a bit of a heifer. I'm starting to understand why out of this dozen or so, Tauros is the only one that retained its original name. Debated new names, sat in the boardrooms like, so we've got White Diglett. Everyone's down for Wiglet, right? Wiglet, yeah? Alright, sorted. Now up next.
Oh, it's a bunch of Larrys. Nice.
We've got to come up with a name for Black Tauros. Black Tauros. Any takers? Yeah, you know what? Let's just call him Paldean Tauros. All right, yeah. Yeah, I know what I'd call him. All right, no, that's enough value. All right, that's a bad cat. You're already pushing it during the brown whipper conversation. We're not doing that again. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Despicable. The cat teaches himself how to talk just so he can say vile things like that. It's 2023. You gotta leave that in the past already. I mean, come on now. Pooper? Just immature. I don't think one trio is bad at all, really. But I really think they should have made Wiglet have its own unique evolution instead of this weirdly forced Dugtrio counterpart. It feels like they wanted to make White Diglett a thing, because it's a great gateway into what could potentially become convergent forms. Maybe. I can't just chat in there. I honestly reckon it's just because canonically having a White Diglett called Wiglet, it's just jokes. Like, they actually did this. It's just a funny looking fellow. You can't go wrong. It felt like the entire motive was for White Diglett. Name, design, the fans would go mad over it. It was all so easy to sort out. It's a bit too easy. Yeah, something's not right here. I think we're missing something, aren't we? Oh, right. Now, we've got to sort out Doug 3-0 as well. What are we going to do for that? It's as if they went through the same creative process as developing Wario, backed themselves into a corner there, realizing, well, we've got to sort something out for Luigi now, too, don't we? Yeah, I don't really care. Just call him Waluigi. Wigglet's great. But how do we do Doug Trio? You're cool, to be honest. I don't really care. One Trio. There. I can't actually tell if One Trio is even burrowed underground. Compared to Dog Trio, it's looking more like they're all tied in a knot. They're conjoined by some magnet in the middle of their little one-bed Patrick Star Rock apartment they're sharing. Looking real claustrophobic in there, boys.
I love this guy's work so goddamn much.
The rock's wound up a bit too tight. It's turning his microwave hot dog red. Nowhere near enough space down there for the three of them to be house sharing like that. I know the cost of living crisis is getting well out of hand, but if the lack of space means you're swelling up to Hulk Hogan leathery skin proportions, there's no shame. You can move back in with the parents. No, there's no loss there. 8 long years I've been prophesizing the return of the king. I had to say it in a video just before Paldean dropped to remind you all, so I said it recently. I've been saying it since 2014. Dunsparce will rise, and my observation hacky left a big vein in my forehead throbbing, warning me the reign of terror was looming over us. Finally, 8 years passed, and I might have to see a doctor about that throbbing vein in my forehead. I think I need to train my hacky a bit more. I was kind of taking the piss about it being some mythical monster, having some untapped potential stowed away for so long. I got caught up in my own joke that I think I worked myself into a shoot, brother. All that time, all of that hype, over 20 long years of burrowing itself in the ground, trembling in fear that youngster Joey might be patrolling the route. Going for that money Dunsparce owes him. That's right, all 200 Poké Dollars he lent him that one time. It's not enough for a lemonade, fearing that the local level 3 Rattatas are waiting outside his cave to get the jump on him, grab him by the horn, and spin him around like a Stretch Armstrong, shaking the lunch money out of his pockets. There was so much, admittedly, self-inflicted expectations by myself and many others. And all they do is they go and give him a second belly? What, he gets 2 lemonades now. He doubles his debt to youngster Joey, and maybe a third if you get hold of a mutant one. Realistically, though, I wasn't expecting some huge dragon or obelisk to torment her.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a dragon for Dunsparce either. And the Dunsparce, I like it. It's not groundbreaking, but it's still enjoyable and still has the same Dunsparce energy.
Out of his belly. I was expecting it to be somewhat similar to what we ended up with, but more like a snake. I'd have the bellies. As many bellies as at once, I don't care. But it'd be built more like a Dragonair or a Gyarados kind of. So I was perfectly whelmed. I mean, Dunsparce might be one of my favorites. How can I complain about getting simply more Dunsparce? And
I know, more Dunsparce is awesome.
The more I thought about it, the more I realized just how on-brand it is for Dunsparce to wait all this time for an evolution, only to demonstrate mitosis. This isn't the mythical dragon many had hoped for. Dunsparce just dug its way into some electrical wiring trying to get out of paying youngster Joey his £2. The Dunsparce is what happens when Dunsparce electrocutes itself into getting a stutter. Wooper already looked like some kind of gummy edible with enough packed into it to send you to the Paradox world. And now they served us up a wee little Wooper Freddo form, developing into a poisonous gummy after losing a territorial struggle. Look, man, I think the guy just wants some limbs. He just wants some arms to function. Evolution's like, best I can give you is a poisonous film. Full body, poisonous film, best I could do. Evolution dictated land, sea, air. Don't care, mate. Don't care. You're still not getting arms. Alright, you think arms?
Imagine if there was also a flying type Wooper. Well, I mean, there is in Fool's Gold. But I mean in a main series Pokemon game.
You think arms are just a handout, do you? Arms are a level 20 privilege now. No excuses. Get yourself a pair of dumbbells. Go and give those a lift. Pick them up. But Paldean Wooper is perfect. It doesn't need limbs, more antennas, more milligrams comes packed in from nothing like that. Whooper doesn't need any more time in the oven, no more sculpting. Your base Whooper is seasoned to perfection as is. You don't want to tamper with such a pure design too much. All it needs is a variant. You can't go wrong with simply more Whooper. Girafarig getting some long-awaited action. Ever since those beta forms got leaked, we've all been hoping they'd eventually cook something up for it. Because we all know that evil tail was cooking something up back there. Scheming away, never sleeping, just plotting for the right time to consume the head and take direct control. The two brains finally collaborated, increasing the psychic potency of Girafarig 10 times over. Finally addressed Girafarig being the most vertically challenged giraffe in all of fiction. All that brain power kicked in, and it's only just realised, oh yeah, I'm meant to be a giraffe, ain't I? Yeah. I didn't think it was genetically possible for short king giraffes to exist. The only thing separating Girafarig and literally any other horse Pokemon is the first half of his name. Alolan Executor is more giraffe than Girafarig, but now, standing at a mean 10'6", no one can argue with him. What an absolute little fella the swamps are.
One of my favorite conversion evolutions, because, I mean, just look at animations of Toadstool running. It's so hilarious and cute.
Paldean have spawned up here. Toadstool. Okay, no, fair enough, alright. The Toad, it do be cool. I've never seen conveyed purely through movements the phrase, come here, come on, why are you running? Well, come on, I just want to work with you.
See? Instantly lovable.
Just want to talk, come here. What a wacky little gizmo he is. Running about the place at 30 miles an hour, outspeeding pro cyclists, running like Tom's gonna fill him in with a frying pan. The guy runs like he just escaped the Kanker Sisters caravan. Got the walking form of John Lennon in that one photo. All makes sense. It's gotta be quick on the toes. That chewy body is a delicacy. When 90% of all habitable buildings in your entire region are on Uber Eats, you're gonna need all 30 of those miles per hour to avoid ending up behind the sneeze guard in a subway. Need them slick tentacles on form at all times, knowing at any moment Ainsley's hunting you down for sport. You know how it is. Shirtless, Bowie knife between the teeth, sprinting through the swamps, looking to dance about around your remains on some beach in Greece, cooking you up into a quaint little lemon meringue pie or something. On the prowl for some Toadstool ingredients, looking to add another testament to the barbecue Bible. I would be comically legging it everywhere too, if I was self-aware as to how delicious I was. Have me running a little suspect like Shaggy, constantly throwing it back, presenting himself high-key, wants the ghoul to grab him. I don't care. I wouldn't care, because I know the entire country of Paldea lives off the $5 footlong, like the almighty meal deal, the backbone of the country. So if you're not quick on the feet, you're not lasting long. All you're gonna be is fuel for increased shiny odds. If I'm a Toadstool, I know there's no chance I'm getting harvested just so you can get your quick little sandwich power up. Paldea loves its sandwiches, and Toadstool has a top speed as if it's the McRib secret formula. Shiny hunters will be locking them up in a huge factory, milking them like they're trying to sell a limited time only Krabby Patty. I'll rate the evolved form Toadstool in its own right too, for what it lacks in wackiness and being a complete gadget of a creature, it makes up for by pure menacing energy. I think, at least. One part of me thinks Toadstool looks vicious. Another part of me thinks it looks like he's part of Mario's community service, legally obligated to fill him in down Rico Harbor. Tentacruel Delfino regional form, maybe even Metroid Tentacruel, absorbing nutrients. Hey, what that mouth do? Cause pain. Scientifically, that's what mouth do. I've no clue how fast Toadstool can run compared to its pre-evolved form with that 30 miles an hour speed, but I doubt the maths of having 5 times the tentacles and a speed of 150 miles an hour. I don't think that checks out. But look at your man here. I don't think he's running. Really, you better hope holding down that B button gets yourself up to 30 miles an hour. You better hope Koraidon has his running shoes on. Ainsley'd need to whack out a lot more than the Bowie knife. Gonna have to button his shirt back on. Gonna have to call upon on help being heavily backed by the BBC. Dive into those taxpayers' millions to spawn up some Team Rocket mechas to get the job done here. Because I understand hunting down Toad School for the valuable delicacy, but there's a far greater risk-reward ratio here with something as deadly as Toad School. I guess it really depends on your preferences. You know what I mean? Like, best case scenario, you end up eating a popular delicacy. Worst case, you get wrapped up by 10 tentacles and sucked. Maybe that is your best case scenario. It's a win-win situation for some. To each their own. Either way, it's looking like one of you is getting their tentacles wrapped around the delicacy. It's amazing to me that they actually made this complete April Fool's Mon a reality. Wiglet is great, because it's really one of them, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we did this one? And they went, yeah, it actually would be. Let's just do it. It'll be a laugh, edit. Let's just do it. We'll make a white Diglett, call him Wiglet, and he'll pipe up from the ground like one of them garden earphones of the Teletubbies. Clearly, the Wiglet is the main focus, as it should be. Wug Trio isn't getting thrown into the trailers, getting everyone gassed up for the new generation. Not even the Macho Man would care about snapping into Slim Jim Doug Trio. But everybody's gotta love the Wiglet. It has a real cozy Yoshi's Island design to it that I just can't look away from. Or maybe can't look away due to the primal urge to grab it with my bare hands, yank him out of his hole, and whip him around the place like one of them sticky hands. Can we just take a good moment to appreciate just how mad it is Annihilate is a thing? Would you have ever imagined Primeape getting an evolution looking like one of those?
No, I didn't think it would ever get an evolution. And not only is Annihilate fucking awesome, it also ties into an old Pokedex entry and Alola.
Dragon Ball Z fan art drawings you'd see in 2007 named like Goku Super Saiyan 7. So much rage that its physical form just couldn't hack it. A tale as old as time. One's gamer rage, sending them straight to a shallow grave. I've been saying since Sarud, we need more monkey Pokemon. Not just your standard ones, we've got plenty of them. We need ones that rip your face off like they're peeling the screen protector off your phone. I don't think I'll ever see a Pokemon with more face-tearing energy than Annihilate. This menace, he'd rip your arms off and be waiting at the entrance to the afterlife to greet you with your own handshake. Your beef with Primeape or Annihilate is for life and death. You're just running for eternity. Beefing with Annihilate is a bigger commitment than marriage. In death, you will not part with Annihilate. He's waiting on the other side just to spark you out again. If there's an afterlife after the afterlife, he's gonna make sure you find out. Your best bet, really, just be in a coma, on the limbo between life and death, and hope it doesn't track down the hospital you're at. I don't even think it goes to the afterlife, actually. I think it decides to stick around post-mortem, just because it wasn't done inhaling all of the smoke. The Paldean region to this weapon is just a country-sized smoking area, a continent-sized octagon. But hang on, Arceus, no, don't beam me up just yet. Did that Lechonk just look at me funny? Yeah, I think that Lechonk just looked at me funny. Come here. And the Pokedex used to pipe up saying Primeape looks peaceful in death. Hey, Dex is getting up.
Yeah, that's the Pokedex entry I was talking about.
A lot of trainers sent to the Shadow Realm gaslighting them like that. Oh, which one of you Pokemon died? Primeape. Your Primeape died. Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry, you're good. So, you're telling me this looks peaceful in death. Primeape looks like it's 17 stellars deep and just watched Harry Kane miss the penalty against France. And every single creature that makes eye contact with him is the missus. Finally, some more Mustache-mon representation. Maybe even the reason there aren't many mustache Pokemon to begin with when you've got King Gambit. The Pokemon with the mustache that shave you. If something like a Piloswine kicks off against a King Gambit, it might get his jaw spun. But hey, you'll probably get a nice skin fade out of it. But really, the skin fade isn't a favor. He's not trying to make you look fresh. He's not helping you pull all that gal Piloswine. Do you know what I mean? Alright, he's there to make you look like a loser. He's there so everyone can see that you are defeated.
I can't unsee Piloswine being shaved. Imagine if that was real. Oh, God.
At the hands of the king. As you can see, it's gone so untested, its hair's long enough to make a beanbag chair out of. Only the alpha Bisharps can reach this peak form. That's why this evolution happens. King Gambit is a reward, a status symbol. They all want to have a big scrap to compete where the grand champion gets the stool. The guy is pre-built with a throne. Biologically, he comes with a stump. All that grafting getting to level 52, paying your dues as one of the pawns, then taking out 3 of the top players of your species, and finally, Mother Nature was like, you know what? Fair play. You can have yourself a bit of a sit down. Go on. Got Bisharps sweating it out like, oh man, why can't I evolve already? My quads are killing me. Unfortunately, a king that's been given directions by an absolute peasant of a champion. Gita might raise the first King Gambit to actually use his legs. The state of this team, right? That's it. I'm off. Shouldn't be taking any orders from her. King Gambit, use Koto Cleave. Aren't you listening, King Gambit? Hey, Gator, I'm a king first and a buddy second. It was a really tough call deciding my favourite out of this lot. But out of all of these, which one was it again? Which one did I spend a good 10 minutes to myself just spinning the camera around after the evolution cutscene played? Yeah, damn right, it's Clodsire, baby. Had to take
the best boy that looks like an eclair.
a break to myself purely so my eyes could digest all 500 pounds of it. Give him a well-deserved ocular pat down. Because I was surprised when it came up, since when I went into raising a Paldean Wooper, I was thinking I'd just be getting Paldean Quagsire, and then seeing that evolution cutscene and, hold on, wait a minute. Your man's a four-wheeler. Need a high-vis jacket to operate one of these. Everything about this unit, banger, carries Wooper on its back to ferry them across the water. Not just an absolute weapon. A man of the people is Clodsire. Everyone loves a bit of Quagsire. I never would have thought making him horizontal, slapping 500 pounds of meat on him, and having him roll around in his own filth for an entire evolutionary cycle. I didn't realize all of that would be such a game changer.
Alright guys, that was the reaction video. Subscribe to me and Mr. One-Ups, and check out my TikTok, and I will see you guys in the next video.